What is up with it? Today we are going to be watching an Emu mirror. This is going to be on Elevate TCG's Twitch channel. It's going to be Chalice, who is a very accomplished Eastern player who is also rank 1 on Sim at the time of this recording. This is actually the first time I'm actually recording two videos back to back in I don't even know how long, but this video is being recorded right after the last one, so I'm just going to say the same spiel. I haven't read Angelo's guide, but he has been kind enough to supply me with a discount code for you all. If you would like to partake in the Emu Guide Wars, please check out the link in the description. Angelo, a great friend of the channel, world's competitor. I could go on and on about the guy. Absolutely great dude. So we're going to choose to go first here. Is a little interesting. I wonder if he prefers first or if he just wanted to just try it out for the fans at home. I'm under the impression that generally you prefer second. Maybe we can even just rewind and pay more attention. So he starts by searching, grabbing the Saint, and then he's going to go ahead and leader effect and pitch the spell. Okay. The 3-cost event. I could definitely see this being a longer video, to be honest. A lot of these Emu players are not known to play particularly quickly. The opponent searching out Jupiter. We're just going to go ahead and pitch the spell again. Even before playing Saint whatever, which is a little interesting to me. I kind of wonder why. I wonder if he just clicked too fast or what. I'm a little confused as to why, to be completely honest. Okay, gonna go ahead and grab the 10 cost and we will go ahead and pitch. Yeah, so see, we just kind of have one less card in our hand here, which is a little bizarre to me, especially because, we have an active Dawn. We could have used that spell, or we could have just pitched the spell off of the Saint Charlotte, and then we have a 2K in our hand right now. So maybe a bit of a mistake. But again, Chalice knows way more about this than I do, so. Oh, the opponent not having 7 cards in trash, the rare time you actually get to remove one of Emu's characters. And pitching the spell, so very clearly he just does not at all see value in these counter spells in this matchup, which, when you don't get to cheat 500 million Dawn with the 7-cost stage, and instead you only get to cheat 400 million, I understand how these counter spells would be a lot worse. But the opponent could go ahead and swing 6. We're going to start with the Saint this time. I wonder if he will once again pitch the counter spell, or if this is the one turn where he's more likely to keep it. Nope, just going to pitch the green 2K. Going to go ahead and go 5 at 5. Just going to do it again, just getting some pokes in. So I think this is going to be a turn we are going to leave a Dawn up. Going to go ahead and play the Neshiro and go 5 to 5. And the opponent very aggressively countering here. The opponent staying at the full 4 life compared to our 2. I'm going to go ahead and swing 5 at 5. I could see a world where we use this. I'm losing my edge here. No guarantee that the opponent's going to go 5 again, and this just basically gets us out of a swing for free, which I could see being a really big deal. You know, it seems like this is definitely a battle of inches at the moment, where both players are just going 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I'm a little surprised we grabbed the 1K there instead of the Shirahoshi, to be completely honest. I guess we are going into our 9 Dawn turn, and we don't really have great ways to use that Dawn. And the opponent using the Shirahoshi gonna make us trash the never existed? No. Gonna trash the 2K. Wow. I feel like, honestly, you could convince me that Chalice is clicking any buttons. I would... I'm not exactly sure what's going on, to be honest. I feel like I'm not completely understanding, but I guess he imagines that early in the game we're never having the Dawn, but this next turn, like this very immediate next turn, we will always have we'll always have the Dawn. Because there's not really a good way for us to ever spend 9. Like, we're never tapping out for 9. I guess it's... Nah. Yeah, we probably just want to dump the St. Charlos now, right? No. Okay, never mind. I don't know. As I said, any buttons would make sense to me. And also, the whole 9 thing is not even true. Because I forgot we don't have the 7 cost stage. I guess we leave the St. Charlos. Because maybe the plan is, if he doesn't beat over this Charlos, then we will not crack a 10 drop. No, I still don't get it. I feel like we're always, like, basically 100% of the time going to be forced to 10 drop on our turn. And if that's the case, I feel like we should have just sacked the St. Charlos and had an extra card in our hand. Like, I don't really understand why the opponent wouldn't be allowed to just ignore this. Also, maybe you're not allowed to sack St. Charlos. To be honest with you, I know there's a restriction on what you can sack on field, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a 5 Elders or if it's a Celestial Dragon. I thought it was a Celestial Dragon that you're allowed to sack. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for it to be only 5 Elders locked, right? Oh, the opponent doesn't have all 5. He doesn't have Jupiter. Wow, that's actually such a huge edge for us. That's insane. That's actually so crazy. If we really wanted to try and stay at 2, okay, we don't. Never mind. Okay, I have to imagine we block this one. Yeah. Okay. If we do not play the 10 cost, then I feel like Chalice is a genius and seen on levels far deeper than me. If we do play the 10 cost, I feel like we hand ripped ourselves by not sacking the St. Charles. Or it's just a card that you're not allowed to sack, which could also be true. Where should we send these swings and why? We're not allowed to use "we're at your service" unless we're actually not playing the 10 cost. I feel like we can start with a 7 from Nestro. And minus his Nestro. And, like, something to keep in mind is I I don't expect that Chalice is like playing his best or playing perfect, right? We're like, first of all, it's a ranked sim, so like no one necessarily plays their best on it all the time because, like, you know, you can get sim brain sometimes. It happens to me plenty of times. And to add on that, he's streaming, right? So he's probably interacting with chat too. Like, I completely get it. You know, we do have to take some of these choices with a grain of salt. They might not be his true feelings on what should happen, but still interesting to see what he chooses. Okay, so the opponent gonna go ahead and 2k 1k. Think we're gonna go ahead. Okay, if we're swinging this bird, we're 100% going elders. Gonna go 5 at 3. I imagine a lot of the time the opponent's just gonna let this go. Trying to protect this sounds insane to me. Yeah. So we'll just go 7-7 at life and then crack the thing I have to in mind. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you can sack it. So we did, in fact, just hand rip ourselves for no reason. That's pretty sick. And you know, of course, I'm not listening to what he's saying. I'm just watching the gameplay at face value. So it's possible that, you know, he also picked up on these things. If you would like to hear his insight, please check out the Elevate page. Oh wow, we don't have all 5. That's crazy. Neither player got all 5. I didn't even notice that we never got to the searcher. That's kind of insane. That feels like a really big deal considering we have 1k counter in hand, 1 life. Feels like a big deal. I mean, it's maybe not a big deal. We were maybe math lethal based on how bad our hand was anyways. I guess that's probably not true because he didn't have Jupiter on board. Because he missed Jupiter last turn. Okay, so we essentially just spent 6 Dawn and a card in hand to attach 6 Dawn to these characters, which I'm gonna be honest, doesn't make any sense to me. I guess technically, if we're going for game, it's exactly the same either way. But like, I don't think, unless I'm tripping, I don't think this player could have ever possibly gained anything off of playing this. Right? Because like he spent 6 Dawn and he just attached 2 Dawn to 3 things essentially by playing this. Like, if anything, he just kind of like telegraphed what was happening. Like, he could have just like attached 2 to Saturn. By like not playing this, he gives himself like a pivot, and he gives himself like Chalice being worried of a pivot where like, oh, if you counter this, then like, what if I just like double blocker Warcurry pass type shit, you know what I mean? I don't know. We got kind of goobed. I'm not gonna lie. This game, I feel like we got goobed. We chose to go first, which, you know, maybe we were just limit testing. Also, I swear to God, I did not just pick and choose games that Chalice lost. What I did was I went through the VODs and I just tried to find games. And I always do this. This always happened to Holden too, because you guys know Holden, big friend of the channel, maybe the best friend of the channel. Who knows? You know, who knows? I'll leave that to the channel to decide. Holden famously loses on every single VOD on the channel, and the reason is what I try to do when I'm picking out what I want to watch is I try to find games that I think will be interesting because like maybe they're not like the most favored thing possible, right? Like last game, yesterday's video for you guys, I picked out a game where Chalice went first as ace into Emu because I want to see how does he navigate that because it should be a hard situation. And if, you know, I'm putting a great player in a hard situation, it doesn't matter how great they are, you know, they're not always going to win. So I really would prefer he won these games, to be honest. It would inspire me a lot more. I definitely personally have concerns about the die roll stigma that I've heard about the format, but who knows? Anyways, I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.